Looks like the NFL itself couldn't even keep up the charade of this weekend being super. And we're just going back to calling it Wild Card Weekend. But you know me, I'm still a hater of the 7 seed, so I don't even know why we expanded them in the first place. But 6 games is 6 games. And if we know football fans, they'll take whatever they can get. These bitches eat anything up. Roll this intro. Hello everybody and welcome to the Wild Card Weekend of the 2024-2025 NFL season and my prediction picks. I am your host Catherine and you are on the Blind Canadian Cat YouTube channel. I say meow, I roll intros, and does it feel good to be a division winner? Yeah, it took way too long to get there, but you know what, with the amount of struggles and BS3 we were dealing with for the first half of the season, the fact that we got it back says enough for me. Sweep in Cincinnati, Pittsburgh having an end-of-season collapse. Enough's enough for me. And overall, you can't complain, can't hate, can't say nothing. So, you know what? We're just going to keep rolling. We're going to keep balling, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So, before we break down these 6 games, CRP style, let's do one last recap of the regular season and how we did. 11-5 straight up. Again, you get a vibe for games, and again, some you just hit or miss. It's week 18 is always difficult to predict, so when you can get a positive record, you take it. More often than not, you're probably going to suffer against the spread either way, which is what happened. We went 7-9 against the spread, and 7-9 on the totals. Again, you win some, you lose some. But with certain players only playing half the game, some players resting completely, some extending streaks for the sole purpose of extending start streaks, you never know. You never know. But all in all, that ends a fantastic regular season for me, finishing with final results of 185-87 straight up. Beautiful. With a, against the spread, new season record for me, 145-126, and only the one push. And I don't know if I just got the lines at convenient times, or what it was, but with that, and my over-unders finishing at 148 and 124, we barely saw a push. And I don't know if it's just the lines I got, or when I got them, or if they were set that way on purpose, but the fact that we didn't get any pushes, or like the one push, in week 16, but like outside of that, no pushes. That kind of surprised me. But again, maybe that's just convenience on the lines that I've gotten. But yeah, overall, this has been a phenomenal year for me. This is the first year since I've started tracking all 3, which I think I go back to 2019 doing all 3. The first year where all 3 of these categories are above 500. And I did the math on this, just in case someone didn't know. It's hard to keep track of these things with the with now there being the 17 weeks and 272 rather than the 256 we're used to dealing with. But my personal best record in 2017, I went 175-81, which was a clip of 68.36%. This year, going 185-87, that put me at a clip of 68.01%. And just because I was curious, I did the math for it. Had I gotten one more game right, had I gone 186-86 instead, that would have put me at a clip of 68.38%. Meaning, had I got one more game correct, I would have had a new personal record for percentages. I missed it by 1 game, which is a damn shame. And it's just nothing you can do there. It hurts for sure. It does hurt. It's probably me biting on that Panthers game when they made them favorites for no damn reason over the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure, had I just bit my tongue on that. Oh well. Nonetheless, It was a beautiful season by me overall, setting new records and everything. Best against the spread, best over under. You really cannot ask for much more than how I did across the board. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm very happy. And let's continue this success into the postseason. Stats will be posted on Twitter as far as the cat quack, clay, and dog picks, but of course I won that one, considering I damn near set a personal record. But I won that one. And I think Sully second, Isaac third, Amanda fourth. But all good overall seasons. You cannot hate on any of them. And with that said and done, let us break down these 6 wildcard games. Hopefully I don't take an hour like my good friend Justin. Hey, Justin. But he does all the smart shit when it comes to breaking down games. I just like to say what I want to say, and if you don't like it, well, these videos average 5 views on YouTube anyway, so it's not like anyone's listening. But, it's for my sake, and it's what makes me happy. So let's break down these games, starting with the also special Texans Invitational, because of course they have to be the 3:30 Saturday game, or the 4:30 Eastern Standard Time game. They're 3:30 in Houston time. I forget the time zone. Central. Life is hard. My brain doesn't know how to work. Blah blah blah. But looking at this game, Texans, they're beat to hell. They got. You lose Stephon Diggs halfway through. You lose Tank Dell near the end. CJ's been going through this sophomore slump. That O-line is not protecting him nearly as much as it might have last year. They can still win some games here or there, but they are definitely limping into these playoffs, trying to get Nico Collins to carry the workload, and if not, hopefully the corpse of Robert Woods or John Mechie, if he can finally get more snaps and more reps. Hoping that they can produce an offense here. Though that being said, something that may has gone under the radar lately, the Texans' defense is one of the better ones out there. I don't have the stats on me. I'm not writing down in my notes or anything, but Texans have had a great defense, limiting teams for the most part until they run into buzzsaws. But they get a lot of pressure. Derek Stingley's been one of the better DBs of the whole year. Should be getting probably all pro votes. I'm just saying. There's been a few good corners out here in the AFC. But Texans have a good defense. That offense is sluggish. And then we can say the same thing about the Chargers. Offense has been getting more of a rhythm lately now that everyone's comfortable enough and we're making things out. Lad McConkey's a stud. Quentin Johnston finally learned how to catch. Hell of a confidence boost for him going into the playoffs, having that kind of game against the Raiders. So the Chargers are on a bit more of a high, Texans on a low. Both these teams have good defenses. I don't think there's much to discuss. You can say Houston last year had no expectations, and that's why beating up on that Browns team that got into the playoffs off of prayers and vibes from Old Man Joe is the reason they got in. But this Chargers team, a lot more healthier and a lot more better than that Browns team last year. And this Texans team is not as good as that Texans team last year. So I think this is very simple. I don't feel like there's much to discuss. I like the Chargers in this spot. It's pretty simple. And the line's only got 2.5. It's pretty much a pick-em game. Again, if the Texans have any hopes in this game, it's through their defense. I don't know how much you can ask of their offense, especially with the Chargers, who have a great defense, great pass rush, great secondary. One of the top defenses in the league. The Chargers have a great defense. Jim Harbaugh's a great coach. J.K. Dobbins is healthy. Kamani Vidal exists. Hassan Haskins gets reps. Lad McConkey's great. Quentin Johnston knows how to catch. Joshua Palmer. Yeah, I think Jalen Rager's there too for some reason. The TCU wide receivers. LA loves them. But yeah, I don't think this is much of a discussion. Give me the Chargers. 2.5 feels like easy money here. Probably the easiest pick here. I say that now as the Chargers go to charger themselves out of the playoffs. But hey, seems like Jim Harbaugh has them not doing that. Let's see if that continues. And then, of course, with the postseason videos, I also put my totals in here instead of going to Twitter because might as well. There's only 6 games to talk. 6, then 4, then 2, then 1. Might as well. Again, I like both defenses. I think both do their job pretty well. I think this Texans team's just also out of... just not there. I like the under 42. It's a gettable number, don't get me wrong, but I like the under. I don't think the Chargers really need to go all out in this game. Just play your role. Don't do anything fancy. Texas will play themselves out of it more than likely. Like, this has 20-14 or like 23-17. Like, that's what this kind of game feels like. So yeah, Chargers win. Chargers cover 2.5. Give me the under. Second game, thanks to Amazon Prime, because who likes watching TV when you have to go get subscription streamer stuff? Yippee! And of course, it's my beloved Ravens playing host to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because who doesn't love AFC North football in the playoffs? With Hard Knocks, how could you not have it? It's a dream come true for all the scriptwriters out there. All of them. Ravens coming to this game, the obvious big news being Zay Flowers fucked up his knee in that win against the Browns. And for all the people saying, this is why you don't play starters. The Ravens needed to win this game. And it's not like, oh, it's the Browns, they don't mean anything. We could play half our roster and still beat the Browns. That's not how this works. Rams showed you that they lost to Seattle by playing half the roster. Kansas City had nothing against Denver. Which, yeah, those are better teams, but when the division's on the line, you play your guys. That's how this shit works. Now, the NFL could have been awesome and had the Cincy and Pittsburgh game played beforehand, so that way the Ravens could have looked to see whether or not they needed to play their starters, but the NFL hates us for whatever reason. For legal reasons, these are all jokes. I'm just here to shit talk and shit post, because that's what I do. Steelers, again, 4-game losing streak. I don't know what much more you could say. This offense looks dead in the water half the time. And the defense, they're still a good defense. They're always going to be a good defense. Secondary issues for sure, but, I mean, when you got that pass rush, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith, I think they got a 4th guy that's also doing really well. You can't complain. And the Ravens, even after this whole season, I'm still not trustworthy of the guards. I love Rosengarten. Ronnie Stanley might come back to his former self. It's up and down for me. And Lindenbaum's that guy. Love the guy. But the guards are still shaky, and I know TJ Watt can get the better of anyone. So I'm not downplaying anything from the Steelers defense. And then you got playoff Ravens, and when I say playoff Ravens, more likely playoff Lamar. And I'm not going to be the one that says that there isn't nothing. There is definitely something. But the hope is, after so many times, it more clicks. And unironically, I think his mother cussing him out, if you haven't heard, when they were on that bye week, apparently Mama, I think her name's Felicia Jones, got on Lamar's case for not running as much as he used to. So I don't have the stats on me, but I do know Lamar ran a lot more lately. And it seems to have worked for him. The Ravens have won 4 straight. And the puzzling thing to me in this game, even with all these narratives, is that this is the biggest spread of the week. The Ravens are 9.5 point favorites in this game. And this is even with Zay Flowers being officially ruled out. They're still almost 10-point favorites. And again, it's the playoffs, it's a division rival, and with these kind of situations, you ignore records, you ignore what the rosters look like, you ignore what each team has been dealing with prior to this. This is divisional football. Playoffs. Mike Tomlin's coaching to make a statement. That man ain't won a playoff game since I was in high school. I graduated in 2018. I'm 25 years old. This man has not won a playoff game since I was in high school. So he's definitely going to be coaching up. And the Ravens, again, there's a stigma. I'm not saying Lamar's going to be bad. I feel like he'll be just fine. But the stigma exists, and I don't trust his coaching not to fuck this up somehow. So, for that reason alone, I'm not laying these points. I'm going to take the Ravens to win, because I'm a biased asshole. I'm going to take the Ravens to go all the way if I can. Trust me, I'm going to do it. So, you can write that in for all future videos. I'm picking the Ravens to go all the way. They were my preseason Super Bowl pick. I'm a biased fan, and I'm going to pick them in every game, because I'm biased. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm biased, and I know this team is capable of winning it all. So, you can just bookmark that for all future videos as long as they're in the playoffs. But I'm not laying 9.5. Not in this scenario. If this was the Texans, I'd lay 9.5. If this was the Chargers, I'd lay 9.5. Not the Steelers. This is division football. I'm not laying that. So yeah, Ravens to win, Pittsburgh to cover 9.5. This could very well just, be like a touchdown game, or even if nothing else, a backdoor cover. I don't think the Ravens score a lot of points here. Definitely not 34 like they did a couple weeks ago against Pittsburgh. But yeah, total of the game is 43.5. Again, I say divisional. I say things get tighter. Probably more run games from both teams. That's just kind of how I see it. So I'm staying under that 43.5. And if nothing else, it's the stigma still. The Ravens playoff stigma haunts me. I think they should win with ease. I absolutely think they should cover this. But me as a fan, knowing this team, I'm not going to do it. Had this been more down to 6.5, I probably would have. But 9.5, not a division game. I can't do it. This game gives me, say, like a 24-17. Or like a 20-16. I can't lay this in this scenario with these headlines. I can't do it. Plus, goddamn, the Ravens and the Steelers have been playing Saturday games and Wednesday. Last time these two played on a Sunday, on the calendar Sunday, was back in like week 15. They've had the week 16 Saturday games, the week 17 Wednesday games, and then week 18 the NFL threw them both back on Saturday. And they're playing a wild card game. These bitches have been on Saturday, or not on Sunday for the last 4 weeks. Give them a Sunday game. Ravens win. Pittsburgh covers 9.5. Under 43.5. This is going to be a 30-40 minute video. I hate my life. On to the Sunday games. You have the Bills hosting the Broncos. Now, if there's anything we've learned from Buffalo, they love to win and beat up on these wild card teams. They always do. Now that I think about it, I think Pittsburgh covered, or what was it? I don't remember the score of that Bills-Steelers game last year. My brain says 30-17, but I don't legitimately remember. But Buffalo beats up on these wildcard teams. They always have. So, I'm picking them to win. I don't think this will be much of a debate. I think they will win. They're laying 8.5, the second biggest spread of the week. Which, for a 2v7 game, that makes sense. This Denver team, I definitely feel like they're playing with no fucks given. Because, I love Bonex, Oregonian pride. I'm going to rep all the Oregon State, Portland State, Western Oregon. I'm going to root for these players. Always have, always will. And Troy Franklin. But, you're not going to expect anything from Denver here. They got here, you got the 7th seed that shouldn't exist, be happy. Your defense is great. And with the way the odds makers are running it out, apparently Patrick Surtain's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Which, I don't know. I don't have the exact numbers on me, but hey, he is the favorite right now, or was the favorite at one point. So good for him. Good for him. And trust me, I would laugh my ass off if Denver somehow found a way to make this game interesting and or win it outright. I just don't see it. I do not. So with that, I like the Bills. The Bills here to win 8.5. It's a spread I don't want to lay comfortably, but again, I'm used to the Bills beating up on wildcard teams. Denver, it was fun. You'll probably play a bit loosey-goosey because there's no fucks given. No one's going to bash on you or hate on you for not winning this game. So, Bo Nix might throw picks. I'm just saying. But that being said, I like Buffalo. I think they cover. I think they're going to score a lot of points because they feel the need to prove themselves because they love to run up the score. I remember that Patriots game a few years back in the playoffs. They're going to run up the score. I'm pretty sure they dropped 30 on Pittsburgh. I really believe it was in the 30, like 31-17. I don't remember though. But I believe Buffalo will definitely score over 30. The question is, do you think Denver can get up there? Probably. They could probably get to 14, 17. Whatever. So, it might be a nail biter, but I'm taking the over 47.5. I think it can get there. If nothing else, for Buffalo showboating. I think this is very possible. Give me a 34 to like 23. 34-23. Something like that. I think Buffalo runs the score up early. Denver gets a lucky one early on, maybe another touchdown mid to late, like late third, early fourth, and then like a field goal here to make them feel like it. That's kind of how I see it. I think Denver could get to 17 or 20. I think Buffalo probably goes up to 40 themselves just for shits and giggles. Who knows? But I think it's over. Just barely squeaks by. On to the next game, we have Philadelphia hosting the Packers. A game that we saw in Week 1. A game that went back and forth. And realistically, this is a tricky one for me, because I do think this game could go either way. And I say that in the sense of mostly Jalen Hurts got concussed in Week 16, I think it was, against the Commanders, and has not played since. He missed out on all of Week 17, and he missed out of all of Week 18. So he's going to be rusty. That's not to say that Philadelphia's game plan should not be hand the ball to Saquon, hand the ball to Saquon, hand the ball to Saquon, dump off to A.J. Brown, dump off to Devontae Smith, like, dump off to, Gallicarda, because Dallas Goedert's not healthy right now, or he might be. I don't check. I don't know. I think it's still Gallicarda, but Goddard might be back. Who knows? But, that should be Philly's game plan. So even if Jalen Hurts isn't 100%, that should be the game plan. Packers, they lost Christian Watson, but half the time I felt like he was never really on the roster because it's been the Jaden Reed show. Or the who's the other guy? Not Romeo Doubs. There's a fourth guy there that loves to get all the reps too. But Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, like, they got weapons. No one was ever really receiver one on that roster. Everyone got love. And love got everyone. But, I think this is a game that could legitimately go either way. And the tiebreaker for me, and this is going to sound really fucking stupid, but if you remember, my preseason pick for the Super Bowl was the Ravens and the Packers. My totally not biased Super Bowl prediction. I have the Ravens defeating the Green Bay Packers in this year's Super Bowl. So, for no other reason mostly other than my own twisted, I don't want to say fantasy, but twisted luck of please let this come true so I can look like a genius in front of everyone. For my own sick, twisted fate, give me the Packers to pull up another 7-seed upset against a 2-seeded team, two-seeded NFC East team with someone who should be in the MVP conversation, but isn't because the NFL is weird and doesn't give these players. And again, I've said my piece about the NFL MVP debate this year. I'm not going to get into it. My only thing is, don't use last year as a premise, as an excuse for this year. That's my only beef. But for the sake of fun, give me the Packers in an upset. Because I'm delusional and I want my Super Bowl pick to come true. Now, I don't believe worth a damn a 7 seed is going to make it to the Super Bowl. But hey, they can pull off one upset. We have that with college football itself. All 4 top teams lost in the first round. So, upsets galore. They're only here to make everyone's day worse. Packers, give me them to cover 4.5. This spread is really low for a 2v7 game. But you know what? Give me the Packers anyway. Total that's 45.5. Give me the over on this. You're not going to get an upset unless you score points. Philly has a top 5 defense as well. So if you want to win this game, you got to put up points. Make concussion protocol free to Jalen Hurts beat you. We'll see what happens. Yeah, like I said, over 45.5. Give me like a 27-24 game. Give me plays. Give me highlights. Give me Jordan Love playing like the Brett Favre we all know him to be. Let Josh Jacobs run wild. Actually, let's go bold prediction. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, combined for over 250 rush yards. Bold prediction. Packers to win. Packers +4 over 45.5. On to the Sunday night game, which I was wondering how this was not Ravens Steelers for the Sunday night for storylines, but then I looked into it a little more. This game has the highest total set for it, so that's probably a reason. And someone was talking about the Sunday night football game with the Falcons and Commanders. Apparently, it was one of the most highest rated Sunday night footballs of the year this year. So NBC probably saw, ooh, we want that game. We want rookie phenom Jaden Daniels, and Baker Mayfield, who's had a top 5 QB season. So we want points, we want fun, nothing to lose for the Commanders because it's a rookie and they're just gonna go up from here. So that's probably why that game is on Sunday Night Football. And again, it's a high total. I also expect a lot of points. I think this will be a blast of a game. And the football gods work in mysterious ways, don't they? All these fun years of Bucs Saints having Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore, and then the Saints trade him away. The Bucs and Commanders aren't even going to play each other next year, so we'll go all of 2025 without them. So somehow, some way, we're going to get them in a wild card game. Marshawn Lattimore, your ass better be healthy because we need this. We need this. I don't think there's much outside of that. Baker looks a little shaky against the Saints, but he's been doing that. He's been having shaky performances on Week 18, only to ball out on the wild card. Did it last year against an NFC East team at home. I'm expecting the same thing here. Bucs Commanders, high-scoring game. Give me the Bucs here. They're the home team. I don't want to play the experience card, but Baker was in this position last year. He wants driving motivation to push through and get to the NFC Championship game, get to the Super Bowl. I think he has the will. I think Mike Evans will figure out. Their rookie McMillan will figure it out. Bucky Irving's a fucking star. Also an Oregon player. Is a star. I like the Bucs here. Give me the Bucs. On the line is 3. To pick them as well, basically. Bucs are home. Give me the 3. I'm not going to think twice about it. Total of the game is 50.5. Like I said, I like the over. I think everyone and their mother's betting the over, meaning that the NFL is going to find some way to make this game go under. Jaden Daniels probably choking in the limelight because we can't have nice things as gamblers. But I like the over here. I think both teams put on a show, and who doesn't like a show for the playoffs on Sunday Night Football? Give me Bucs 30, Commanders 27, which technically speaking is a push. But that's what I wrote in my notes. And by notes, I mean the little Yahoo thing that makes you guess a score for the Sunday and Monday night games. So, that's what I'm rolling with. So, for the sake of covering, we'll say 31-27. Either way, Bucs win, Bucs cover -3, and over 50.5. And the final game is the Vikings traveling to the Rams, though unfortunately this game's not going to be played in SoFi Stadium due to the California fires that are occurring. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone out there. Hopefully you can stay safe. Hopefully all your precious memories, just your safety and your valuables. Hopefully, all thoughts are with you guys. I hope you get out there safe and sound. I sound so uneducated. I'm so sorry. By the way, this game has been moved to Arizona. They're going to play it in the Cardinal Stadium, which ultimately I don't think makes much a difference. Yes, this is a Rams home game, so they should get benefit of home fans, but not that Los Angeles has known to have their stadiums filled with home fans, if we're being completely honest. Either way, I do think this is an interesting game. I do think it's competitive. The Rams did beat the Vikings on a Thursday Night Football game earlier this year, but then again, it's Thursday night. I think Rams were kicking a step away from blowing everything up, so they kind of played fuck it ball, and it worked to their favor. And their pass, because it was like 14-14 at the start, and then everyone just kind of settled down. Pass rush was getting home. Defenses were making plays. So I think the defense will still keep up their thing, but I just think the Rams, they're a team that they're in the words of my friend Justin, they're the most gettable team in these playoffs. They don't. This team just doesn't scream contender. This team doesn't scream like we can make a run. This team is just, we won our division because Seattle lost to the Giants, and that's it. That's it. And the Niners were injured to hell and back. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I like the Vikings in this spot. If nothing else, that defense will hold the Rams in check. And as long as Sam Darnold doesn't see Ghost again, they should be fine. But with that, Minnesota's got a great defense. The Rams got a great pass rush. This total set at 47.5. I'm not touching that. Give me the under on that. I don't think this game scores a lot. I wrote down my final score of 23-17. So it just gets to 40. 47, that feels like an easy under. Even if they score a little extra, 20, 24, 21, you're still getting an under. So I like the Vikings. I like them to cover 2.5 and give me under 47. Alright, and we recap all 6 games. I gotta back up hella because that Bucks Commanders I know is gonna take up a majority of the space. We move over here. Recap the 6 games. Chargers win. Chargers cover. Give me under 42 on that game. Ravens win. Pittsburgh covers because I'm not laying 10 on a divisional playoff game, especially with the playoff Ravens. Under 43.5. Bills win. Bills cover against the Broncos team who is playing with nothing to lose, so they're just happy to be here. Over 47.5. Packers on the upset and therefore covering 4.5 and over 45.5 points. Buccaneers to win. Bucks to cover and over 50.5. This game realistically could get to 60, and I would not be shocked in the slightest. And then Vikings win. Vikings cover under 47.5 in a game being played in Glendale, Arizona. And with that, that is all for my picks. And that is all for me here today because we don't talk about fantasy. And we also don't talk about, well, I don't know. I'm just yapping. Because that's the beauty when you don't script shit. You just yap, and there's no one to talk to me here, so it's not like I can lean on anyone else. But there you have it. Those are my picks. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my socials. Twitter is CanadianCatCP. Instagram, Blind Canadian Cat. I got a Blue Sky as well. Blind Canadian Cat. All links down below, obviously. Hop into the NFL YouTube Prognosticators Facebook page, where we have some fun. We talk sports and have some great camaraderie. Make sure you watch my friend Justin, because he live streams his picks. His link is also in the description below. Give a shout out to him. If nothing else, just sending some love. Love to trade blows with the guy. Love talking football. And hey, maybe maybe our good friend Andrew Warren can help manifest another collab here in the near future. He's definitely dropped some wisdom in previous Super Bowl picks, but maybe we can get something planned together before the Super Bowl. Time is ours. With that, that is all from me. Choose peace, accept love, and have a big trust. The one and only Blind Canadian Cat. And goodbye to you. Mwah.